They think your cat sleeps 16 hours a day because she is lazy. The truth is a survival script so ancient it predates your species by 60 million years. And you have never once noticed her running it. You walk through your home and see a domestic animal, a warm weight on the sofa, a tail curling around your ankle, a creature who depends on you for food, warmth, safety. You believe you are the provider. And you are. But here is what you did not see while you filled her bowl this morning. While you slept, your cat performed a 12-step security sweep of every room in your house. She checked the windows. She listened to the radiator pipes. She sat at the foot of your bed for 17 minutes without moving, monitoring the rhythm of your breathing. Not because she was guarding you, because she was calibrating her own threat map, using your body as the baseline sensor. This is not affection. This is protocol. And the protocol is what keeps millions of house cats alive in environments that every other predator would register as hostile. If you have ever watched your cat settle into a cardboard box and felt a small wave of tenderness, you were right to feel something. But you were wrong about what you were seeing. That box is not a toy. It is a survival enclosure with one entrance, solid walls on 5 sides, and a geometry that triggers her deepest neurological safety signal. Cats in shelters with cardboard hides show up to 40% lower stress markers than cats with open beds. The same study, published in the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery, measured cortisol levels in cats given enclosed spaces versus open baskets. The difference was not subtle. It was biological. That cardboard box is not a toy. It is a biological anchor designed by 60 million years of predation. If a single study about cortisol levels rewired how you see that quiet shelter in your living room, subscribe, because the next layer of this map will change how you interpret her sleep, her food bowl, and her midnight sprint. Drop the word hide in the comments if you are about to walk over and look at your cat's box with new eyes. Your cat is not picky about furniture. She is running a threat assessment. Every flat surface in your home has been rated by her for escape routes, sight lines, and structural integrity. The sofa back that she sleeps on has a specific width she tested with her whiskers before committing. The kitchen counter she jumped onto was not a decision made lightly. She measured the drop distance, the landing surface texture, and the availability of a secondary perch in case something startled her mid-jump. You have never seen this calculation because it happens in microseconds, but it happens every single time. Here is the part nobody catches. Your cat does not drink water the way you think she does. You fill her bowl. She approaches. You assume she laps at the surface. But cats in the wild evolved to avoid still water sources. Still water carries bacteria and parasites. Moving water signals safety. That is why your cat paws at her bowl before drinking, or sticks her entire paw into the water and licks it dry. She is not playing. She is testing the water for movement that would indicate predator contamination in a river at night. You have watched her do this 1,000 times and called it strange. She calls it survival. The same logic applies to her food. Your cat eats from a bowl in a corner, but her ancestral feeding protocol requires her to eat in the open, on elevated ground, with clear sight lines to every possible approach. When you place her bowl against a wall, you are forcing her to eat with her back exposed. Every domestic cat eats with a baseline stress load the owner never detects. The tail twitch mid-meal is not satisfaction. It is the reptile brain scanning for threats while the mouth runs the mechanical motion of feeding. Now consider this. Your cat grooms herself constantly. You have been told this means she is clean. It does. But the real function is thermoregulation and scent erasure. Grooming is not hygiene. It is camouflage. Cats in the wild remove all traces of scent from their fur every few hours, so predators cannot track them. Your indoor cat, who has not faced a predator in her life, still runs this protocol every waking hour because the script does not have an off switch. If you have ever watched your cat groom after you touched her, you felt a small sting of rejection. That sting was accurate, but misread. She was not rejecting your affection. She was removing the chemical evidence that you had been near her. In a survival context, your scent on her fur signals to a predator that a larger animal is in the territory. She does not want to be found. She does not want to be followed. Your scent on her body is a liability, and her tongue is the only eraser she has. You have the rest of this story half right and half inverted. Let me keep going. Your cat hides when she is sick. You know this. Every owner knows this. But the reason is sharper than you think. Cats do not hide from pain because they are stoic. They hide because in the wild, a sick cat is a target for every predator in the territory, including other cats. The hiding is not passive suffering. It is active, evasive strategy. The cat calculates exactly where to disappear so that no larger animal, including you, can find her while she is vulnerable. That is why sick cats crawl into closets, under beds, behind appliances. They are not seeking darkness. They are seeking the one location in your home where a predator the size of a human cannot easily reach. You are the predator in this equation, not because you hurt her, because her survival firmware classifies every larger moving creature as a potential threat until proven otherwise over months of consistent, non-threatening behavior. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed your cat sitting in a room and staring at nothing? You assume she is watching dust motes or a reflection. But cats see into the ultraviolet spectrum. They detect rodent urine trails invisible to human eyes. They see the thermal residue of where you sat 10 minutes ago. Your cat is not staring at nothing. She is reading an entire layer of the world that your biology cannot access. She watches the wall because she can see the temperature gradient where the sun moved across the plaster. She watches the corner because a mouse walked there 3 hours ago and left a chemical signature her nose reads like a newspaper headline. The world your cat lives in is not the world you see. It is a denser, louder, more threatening place, and she navigates it with protocols you have never been taught to recognize. You thought your cat was simple. She is a sensor platform, a territory engineer, a chemical communicator, and a survival strategist operating inside your living room. She does not ask for your help because she does not trust your help. The only thing she trusts is the map she builds herself. If what you just heard shifted something in how you see her, stay with me. This is where the real map opens. You think you know what your cat wants. You think she wants food, warmth, affection, a clean litter box. Those are surface requests. The deeper desire is something your house can never fully provide. And the way she compensates for what is missing is a behavior you have witnessed every day without understanding its true function. What your cat actually wants is a territory she can patrol, defend, and predict. Your apartment is too small, your schedule is too irregular, your furniture is too low to the ground, and your cat is constantly running damage control on an environment that violates every architectural preference her species evolved to require. Consider vertical escape routes. Your cat needs elevated perches to feel safe. Not to climb, to observe. In a multi-level survival hierarchy, the dominant cat takes the highest position because height equals safety equals first visual on approaching threats. Your cat sleeps on your dresser not because it is comfortable, but because from that angle she can see the door, the window, and your bed in a single field of view. She is not resting. She is operating a command center. Consider the litter box. You place it in a quiet corner. Good instinct. But cats in the wild eliminate away from their food, their water, and their sleeping area by at least 30 meters. Your apartment probably covers 80 square meters. Your cat is eating 3 meters from where she shits. She tolerates this because she has no choice. But the proximity stress accumulates. It shows up as urinary issues, compulsive grooming, sudden aggression. The cat is not broken. The geometry of your home violates her hygiene protocol every single day. Consider your feeding schedule. You feed her twice a day. Predictable, kind. But her ancestral feeding rhythm is 8 to 10 small meals over 24 hours. Hunt, eat, rest, repeat. Your twice-daily bowl delivery creates a blood sugar spike, a crash, and a behavioral state that looks like irritability, but is actually metabolic confusion. She is not annoyed at you. She is hungry on a schedule her body was not designed for. You are not doing anything wrong. You are doing what every owner does. You are running human protocols on feline biology, and your cat is compensating for every mismatch with a survival loop that runs non-stop, invisible to you. If this is starting to feel like a mirror, that is because it is meant to. The moment you recognize that your cat has been silently managing your house instead of the other way around, the relationship transforms. You stop being a provider and start being a guardian who understands the hidden calculus. You just crossed from owner to guardian. That is not a small shift. It rewrites the entire relationship. If you want to carry that transformation forward, subscribe, because every video in this series builds the map that makes you worthy of her trust. Tell me in the comments, what is the one thing you will change in your home today based on what you just learned about her territory? So what do you do with this map? You watch her differently. You notice the perch she chooses and ask yourself what sightline she is protecting. You notice the tail twitch during feeding and adjust the bowl position. You notice the grooming after you touch her and realize it is not distance but erasure. You begin to see the layer of the world your cat sees, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Your cat has been running this survival protocol since the day you brought her home. She never stopped. She never will. The question is whether you are ready to join the same map. In the next part of this story, we examine the single most misread behavior in the entire feline repertoire, the one every owner interprets as love and that actually signals something closer to alarm. But that is for when the circle completes. For now, notice where your cat is sitting. Notice what she is watching. And ask yourself whether you have been looking at her or at a version you invented. The answer changes what happens next. The same evening ritual you have witnessed 1,000 times. The sudden burst of energy at 11 p.m., the sprint across the living room, the skid on the hardwood floor, is not random play. It is a predation sequence hardwired into her circadian rhythm. Wild cats hunt at dawn and dusk. Your electric lights have shifted her internal clock, but the script still fires. She is not being dramatic. She is executing a hunting cycle that has no prey. That toy mouse you bought last month? She dismembered it in under a minute. You thought she was enthusiastic. She was performing a species-specific kill sequence. Stalk, pounce, paw clamp, neck bite, shake. Each movement is a motor pattern that cannot be unlearned. When she bats a crinkle ball under the fridge and stares at the gap, she is not hoping it will emerge. She is running the waiting protocol that follows failed capture. The stillness is not patience. It is the frozen moment before the next attempt. Consider the midnight yowl, the sound that wakes you at 3 a.m., the one that makes you wonder if something is wrong. Nothing is wrong. She is broadcasting a territorial vocalization designed to carry over open grassland. In a house, it bounces off walls and reaches your ears as a demand. She is not asking for food. She is confirming that the territory is still hers and that no other cat has entered while you slept. Your groggy response, the shuffle to the kitchen, teaches her that vocalizing at 3 a.m. produces resources. But the original signal was never hunger. You have never noticed that your cat's whiskers change position based on her emotional state. Forward means curiosity or threat assessment. Flattened against the face means defensive readiness. Relaxed to the sides means baseline safety. She reads your body language constantly. Every crossed arm, every raised voice, every sudden movement is translated into threat probability by a brain that evolved to avoid being eaten. You thought you were the one reading her. She has been reading you with far more precision from the beginning. That behavior you call kneading, the rhythmic pressing of paws into your lap, into a blanket, into your chest, is a nursing reflex that typically fades in wild cats. That it persists in domestic cats tells researchers something important about the safety your presence provides. It is a regression to the kitten stage, but it is also a scent deposition behavior. The pads of her paws contain sweat glands that release your chemical signature into the fabric. She is not making biscuits. She is stamping the territory with a confirmation that you belong to her. And then there is the thing she does right before she vomits. The pacing, the licking of non-food surfaces, the swallowing of air. You have watched this and felt helpless. But the behavior has a logic. Cats in the wild consume grass to induce vomiting when they have ingested something indigestible. Fur, bones, insect exoskeletons. The indoor cat with a hairball is running the same sequence. But she also vomits when anxious, when she has eaten too fast, or when the food formula has changed. The vomit is not the problem. The signal is the behavior that precedes it. If you watch for the pacing, the lip-licking, the repeated swallowing, you have a 10-minute window to intervene. You have been given the map now, the hiding, the grooming, The window watching, the sleeping positions, the vocalizations, the feeding stress, the territorial patrols. All of it is coherent when you stop reading her through human emotional categories and start reading her through survival logic. She is not mysterious. She is precise. And the precision has been there every day waiting for you to notice. The next time she walks into the room, look at her whiskers. Look at her tail tip. Look at the set of her ears. She is broadcasting a signal. The question is no longer whether she is hiding something. It is whether you have learned to read the language she has been speaking since the day you met. She is not hiding. She has been visible the entire time. You just did not know which layer to watch. You now know the layer. You can no longer unsee the survival engineer inside the quiet creature on your sofa. Before you leave this video, subscribe so the next piece of this map lands exactly when you need it. Because the single most misread behavior is coming next, and you will want the full context. Type map in the comments if you now see your cat as a survival specialist rather than a mystery. Every whisker flick, every tail curve, every silent stare at a wall you cannot read carries the full weight of a species that survived ice ages, predators, and domestication without losing a single survival subroutine. That is not fragility. That is 60 million years of refinement compressed into a body small enough to fit in your lap. You thought you owned a cat. You share a territory with an independent survival specialist who has simply chosen, for reasons her own, to tolerate your presence in her home. And that tolerance is not weakness. It is the most profound gift a creature of her evolutionary lineage can offer a creature of yours. She has not surrendered her protocol. She has expanded it to include you as a known variable in her safety equation. You are not her owner. You are her map. The one fixed point in an environment she otherwise cannot control. The hiding, the grooming, the midnight patrol, the food assessment, the kneading, the whisker reading, the vomit sequence. None of it is random. All of it is language. And now you have the grammar. The question that follows is not whether you understand her. It is whether you will honor what you now know by watching differently, by arranging her territory with her biology in mind, by seeing the survival engineer inside the quiet creature on your sofa. That is the transformation no veterinary visit can provide. That is the initiation you have just completed. She was never lost. She was always right there, speaking a language you did not yet know how to hear. Now you do. And the silence you once mistook for mystery is actually the most articulate signal you will ever receive.